This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by a very happy Jamie Moore here in Milton Keynes. Jamie, congratulations on a double victory success and a new world champion in your stable as well. We'll start off with Fiaz as he fought first tonight. A comfortable victory over Kane Baker. What did you make of Akib's performance?
Yeah, so we've matched Akib tough in the first. He's had 6 fights now. He has been matched tough, but there's a reason behind it, and the reason is so that he picks up that experience. So he was doing stuff tonight in the ring which he doesn't do in the gym, and the reason why we've took fights like this is to make sure that he understands that sometimes the pressure can get to the occasion, and you know, the nerves got to him a little bit tonight. I think the occasion a little bit. I know I didn't really see him on the surface, but I could tell he was edgy, and he was grabbing on a little bit in the pocket, which he never does. So I could see he was probably more concerned about doing 8 rounds, I think. But he paced it well. He boxed really well. You know, he's always been known as a good pressure fighter, but we're adapting him a little bit and making sure he's more conservative, knows when to go up and down the gears. So I can't give a great account of himself. I thought the scorecards was a little bit tight. I thought I think maybe Kane got a couple of rounds and that was it. But you know, great performance, great learning curve for him. I said to him, that's the sort of experience he'd probably usually get at 13, 14 fights, and I want him to get it now so that by the time he does step up to British level, he's not experiencing things for the first time. So he'll take the lessons from it today. We'll go away, we'll analyse it, we'll look at what he did right, what he did wrong, and then we'll fix it before he gets to that stage. So there's a method behind it.
I think you just answered kind of 2 of my next questions there with regards to the experience and that. But with Aki being able to come through this now and the extra needle that had been built around it because of the fact that it never happened back in fight camp, how key will it all be for Aki moving forwards, and how much confidence can he take away from the fact that he could still deliver on the stage and he can put it all behind him now and look forwards to the future?
Of course, I think, you know, that's the sort of fight where he'll take loads from it. And, you know, I like Kane. Even though he's an edgy character and he's a bit hot-headed, but he's passionate about it, and that's what I like. So, and you know, he felt like he should have got more out of that fight because of the effort he put into it, and that's not how boxing works. But I wouldn't be adverse to, in 5 fights down the line, Akib revisiting that sort of fight. You know, I'm sure Kane will go away and he'll have some good wins now. And for me, that'd be a way of Akib proving to himself how much he's come on. Do you know what I mean? And it's happened in the past, so but we'll see what happens. I don't, you know, in terms of moving forward, I'm not sure whether he'll be a super featherweight. I don't know. I'm thinking, I'm not 100%, but I'm thinking maybe lightweight will be his future because I'll allow him to grow into it rather than dragging him down to super featherweight because he's only 20. But we'll see what happens. I think, you know, he's a work in progress in it, but I was really happy with his performance tonight.
Moving on to your other charge, Chantel Cameron with a terrific performance against Adriana Araujo tonight, 100-90 on all 3 scorecards. Just talk me through her performance as well, Jamie.
Oh, she was amazing. I think, you know, Araujo was massive on the night. You know, she's coming real heavy. We knew she was going to be heavy. She couldn't make the check weights. The board then, because she couldn't make the check weight, wouldn't allow her to come below a certain weight to make weight because it's dangerous. So, but we had to make weight. So we knew he was going to be at a massive disadvantage weight-wise. And it showed tonight because I feel like if there was the size difference was more closer together, Chantel probably would have got out of there towards the end. But in terms of performance, she took a few risks a few times. I told her off a little bit. I said, listen, stop taking those risks. You don't have to stand and trade. Draw the first shot out and then go afterwards. But again, Chantel's had 14 fights, 13 fights. So she's still learning. She's learning how to stick to tactics and box to orders. And then sometimes she's going off path and having to come back on. But no one's perfect, and she's 80% there. And this is the start now for her. You know, women's boxing's flying at the minute. You know, they're really stamping their authority and making themselves known. And you know, it's going to open the door up for massive fights. For, you know, MTK have got her in a position where they've got her a matchroom deal. Matchroom are going to really deliver for her now.
Were there any worries in Chantel's mind with regards to coming into the fight, knowing there would be such a huge weight difference because of the fact that Araujo missed it by quite a large chunk?
Yeah, I think it would have played on her mind. She didn't really let on. I could see she was edging, but you know that comes with fighting for a world title and stuff. So I don't think it was necessarily just a weight, but it was obviously played on her mind. But in a way, maybe that made her stick to the tactics a little bit more rigid, because she probably could have been forgiven. She had that much success early on. She could have been forgiven for throwing caution to the wind and just going for it. Whereas I think the weight difference made her not do that. So again, it's just a lesson.
Just a couple more things to touch on. Obviously, I have to bring it up. Throughout the fight, we saw Araujo going through a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. Firstly, from your point in the corner, what was going through your mind when you could see that going on, Jamie?
I was just like, wow, is this really happening? But it's not expensive to get a decent firm sports bra, is it? But listen, again, lessons learned for her. I'm sure she won't make that mistake again.
Well, I think we'd certainly hope not. And then obviously the final question, moving forwards for Chantal, I know she'll have a bit of time off now to rest and recover, but what do you see next for her? I know you've mentioned moving her back down to lightweight.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be straight away, because once you win a world title you want to defend it. So maybe we'll look at a lightweight and bring them up, and maybe say to him, we'll come in at 9-11 or whatever, just to balance it out a little bit. But there's massive fights there for her, especially at lightweight, because you think about maybe Terry Harper moving up to lightweight from super featherweight. So if Chantal's coming down, obviously Katie Taylor's the big name there, but there's a lot of decent fights there for Chantal. So like I say, this is the start now. For the next sort of 2 or 3 years, she's going to be involved in some really good fights and entertaining fights, because the girls who are in and around that weight division are all exciting fighters. So it's going to be great domestically.
Well, Jamie, your work is done for tonight. You're back in the gym tomorrow, because it's a Monday, I assume?
Back in the gym. Mark Leach is fighting Kazashvak in 2 weeks' time, so we'll be back in the gym at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Such is life.
Well, obviously we'll catch up with you before then, but I'll leave you to enjoy your victories tonight. How do you intend on doing so?
I'm driving straight home now, so I can wake up in the morning and see the kids before they go to school.
Jamie, I'll leave you to it. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, and thank you, mate.